Hello, my name is Fancy Constance Anak Dawat with a metric number of 65944. So, I'm going to talk about the introduction for this project. So, the first one is the definition of wastewater. So, wastewater is defined as the water that has been released into the environment along with waste that have been added from a variety of uses, including industrial, commercial, and residential. There are two sources that release wastewater into the environment. So the first one is the sewage. Wastewater is the type that has been discharged from those domestic locations, including institutions, homes, and the commercial businesses. Sewage wastewater is organic because it contains carbon composites like paper, vegetables, and human waste. Second is the wastewater that is generated by the industrial processes, which is also composed of organic materials. Wastewater treatment is the act of purifying wastewater so that it can be released back into a waterway, because this pollution can be harmful to both human health and the environment. So, in order to purify the wastewater and safeguard to protect the environment and the well-being of everyone, wastewater treatment uses chemical, physical, and biological processes. As we all know that the systems for treating wastewater contribute to the environmental and human health protection. So this figure shows that the dirt, soap, food, grease, and human waste are all carried down the drain and outside of our home by the wastewater from sinks, toilets, washing machines, and also showers. So the bacteria, viruses, and other pathogens that cause disease are present in this wastewater. So additionally, it transports the organic waste and nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. So before they reach surrounding lakes, streams, and wetlands or groundwater, which is the source of drinking water via wells, most of these toxins are removed or degraded by the wastewater treatment facilities. Next is the challenges of the household wastewater treatment system plan according to the study from the Dunner 2020. There are four major challenges facing operators of wastewater treatment plants, and they can be split into four broad categories, which are energy consumption, people skills and competence, dealing with sludge, and footprint and facilities.
Actually, Kuching is a high water demand city with population continuous increase as a result of significant increase in both domestic and industrial sewage production. So according to a journal, Kuching has a water demand of 388 million liter per day at 2015, while at 2030, Kuching will have a water demand of 1,383 million liter per day, while the existing water supply capacity is only 580 million liter per day. Hence, we have a project and type a proposal of sewage treatment plant around 20,000 to 27,000 PE for MJC Batu Kawah, Kuching, Sarawak. So for the land area requirement, buffer zone requirement, and the treatment plant seating criteria of the project site is referred to EIA Guideline DOE Malaysia 2020 and Malaysia Sewage Industry Guideline MSIG. So an overview of proposed sites of project for this FTP and catchment area in MJC Batu Kawah, Kuching. For advantage and disadvantage, I will choose one advantage and one disadvantage to explain. So for extended aeration, is more attention time for microbials to absorb the nutrient, as the process are frequently effective at controlling organic loading and flow fluctuation, and more energy used when the aeration period. For SPR, the system ability to regulate substrate tension enabled the optimization of treatment effectiveness as well as control nitrogen removal and the process overall stability. So for SPR system consume a lot of energy compared to others. So for RPC, the process is relatively silent compared to dosage pump for aeration. but it needs protect by the sunlight, wind, rain, especially against freezing at low climax. So finally, SPR is chosen to build at the proposed site, which is estimated to be 22,225 PE. Compared to other technology, advantage of SPR system is still more obvious against others.
I will proceed to the project description. For the project location and population equivalent, the chosen proposed site location is MJC Putukawa located in Kuching. This location with catchment area of 0.49 km square consists of 22,225 PE and the STP class is classified as class 4. The proposed sewerage treatment plant is located 238.7 km away from the proposed site location and 55.37 km away from Sungai Maung that flow nearby the residential area of MJC Putukawa. The proposed land area prepared for the STP is 1.25 hectare, which is the optimum land area required for a Class 4 STP with 92,235 PE. The proposed area for STP is a flat land with some trees which need to be removed before the construction process of STP. For the sewage treatment process, filters and grit removal are commonly used to treat influent wastewater before it enters the SBR. Wastewater is then injected into a reactor that is only partially filled with biomass that has become accustomed to the wastewater during prior cycles. The reactor doesn't have a continuous influent or effluent flow after it is full, but it nevertheless functions similarly to a conventional activated sludge system. The aeration and mixing are stopped after the biological activities are finished, the biomass settles, and the treated supernatant is removed. Before influent wastewater enter the SBR, filters and grit removal are frequently utilized to treat the wastewater. After the biological process are complete, the biomass settles and the treated supernatant is removed, the aeration and mixing are stopped. Extra biomass is dumped at any point in the cycle. Because of the frequent waste, the mass ratio of influent substrate to biomass is basically constant from cycle to cycle. Return activated sludge (RAS) and primary sludge (PS), which are frequently used in traditional activated sludge systems, are not required with SBR. There is often only one sludge to deal with while using the SBR. Depending on the characteristic of the sludge, the need for gravity thickness prior to digestion is determined case by case. SBR serves as an equilibration basin when the vessel is filled with wastewater, enabling the system to tolerate peak flows or peak loads in the effluent and equalize them in a batch reactor. In many conventional activated sludge systems, separate equalization is necessary to protect the biological system from peak flows that might wash away the biomass or peak loads that might interfere with the treatment process. It should be noted that initial clarifiers are not necessary in most municipal wastewater applications performed before an SBR.
Thank you. I'm Jason Shinja with the matrix number of 75126. Next, I will be talking about existing environment and evaluation of impact. Firstly, this picture illustrated the tributary water stream that are connected to the Sewerage River. This picture was adopted from Google Map. Next is the surface runoff from Residential Area 1, which consists of MJC 1 Residency, MJC Mutiara, and MJC Koyak Century Apartment. The upstream is located between MJC Mutiara and MJC Koyak Century Apartment, while the downstream will be the Sewerage River flow into the South China Sea, as we can see in the figure. Similarly, the surface runoff from Residential Area 2, which consists of MJC Shop House, the upstream will be from the drainage nearby McDonald, Batukawa, while the downstream will be the Sewerage River flow into the South China Sea.
Hello, my name is Farina Parvin and I'll be taking over from here. So the mitigation measures has two phases that we need to consider, which is construction phase and operational phase. In construction phase, there are several factors we have to consider, but listed here are a few, which is site clearing, which require the site to be clear of obstruction and proper drainage systems must be installed. Water quality, on the other hand, requires the construction to be situated away from floodplains and proper and regulated drainage must be maintained. Air quality has restricted vehicle speed at 25 km per hour. Operational phase, on the other hand, has four factors that we have to consider, which is air quality, noise quality, waste, health and safety. For air quality, it must be regularly monitored. For noise emission must be controlled by equipping silencers on high noise equipments, and waste must be segregated by type, and waste leaving site must be monitored and recorded. And finally, we have health and safety, which requires the provision of safe safety and protective equipment, and the addition of first aid facilities. So the sewage treatment plant is essential in delivering cleaner and environmentally friendly effluent as the development continues to grow at MJC Batukawa, which shows an increase in sewage volume. As such, this proposal must be considered to improve the daily life and the effluent discharge from the SDP. Thank you.